Let's look at the back. The PKK is attacking Turkey for a long time and finding a refuge in the West mostly, but also had good relations with the Syrian Assad regime and Iran, and even sometimes with Russia. I mean, a terrorist organization, and most of them say they are. I mean, terrorist organization, and this organization is supported hiddenly for a long time against Turkey. And also, after of course, Arab Spring, again, the Assad regime, maybe with the guidance of Iran, left some of the Kurdish areas because to the PKK. Probably they thought they I mean, they couldn't control these areas, so they left these Kamishli and Kobani and other area, Afrin, to the PKK groups that are acting in. Also, they had previously good relations with the Öcalan and stuff, and this, of course, made a big problem for Turkey. And then when, of course, ISIS came and America used the PKK against, I mean, uh, against ISIS, but they name it differently. They said PYD and YPG as a surrogate, as a alternative naming. But as we know, this is the same organization. With American resources, America could have done. This is the Obama thing that Obama did, and as a punishment not to fight in Syria, they wanna leave. I mean, maybe they hoped that Turkey fought with Iran in Syria. Of course, this is gonna be a regional war, and we thought, I mean, we should do it together with America. And of course, Obama promised many things with red lines, chemical weapons, but forgot all of this. And then I mean, they began to punish Turkey by supporting the PKK, PYD, and I mean, with the disguise of fighting ISIS. But they could have easily found any other Turkish group with the resources they have, because the PKK don't have much following actually. Still, they don't represent the whole Kurdish population. They chose this communist ideological group as an ally. I mean, they could have found liberal Kurds or nationalists, or I mean, other types of Kurds, like maybe Barzani type or Talibani type or other ones. But they chose PKK as an ally to fight ISIS. But they gave the whole north of Syria to this organization. Of course, this is a big threat to Turkey, because this group was fighting Turkey for a long time, and it's a threat, direct threat to Turkish national security and interest. Also, we see it also in line with the Barzani referendum. If you remember that time, 2016, I think it was like a complete shutdown of the Turkish border with the Arab world. So we don't want Turkey be isolated from Arab. Even the Barzani, now there are some American officials, not all of them, were involved in encouraging Barzani. He said, "I'm selling a lot of gas and oil through Turkey. What I'm gonna do if Turkey shut it down?" They said, "We have northern Syria as an alternative. We can make a alternative route. Don't worry." And they kind of seduced him to do this referendum. Of course, it failed, but it created a kind of chaos. I mean, to make it short, in the meantime, America kept supporting the PKK. I mean, not only diplomatically, militarily, financially, American budget. They gave money directly to them. We know they gave a lot of arms. They give diplomatic support, and also operation-wise, they collect members in the West. They collect money. But America keeps saying that, or the Western allies keep saying that they are different organization. And last week, in the 13th of November, the PYD member, they attacked Istanbul in a civilian touristic place, and it is well connected to an Arab And also from an Arab origin, we know that STG also was operating because of Turkish pressure. They keep saying that these are Kurdish, but they want to enlarge this group to add more Arabs, but they are becoming puppet to PYD organization, PKK organization, as an auxiliary, and the bomber came from outside. And in the recent years, the PKK couldn't do anything from inside. So Turkey's operations, Turkey's measures were very effective to stop any kind of terroristic activity from inside, because the internal minister and security services, intelligence services were, also the military were working very effectively with the Turkish drones and all this and intelligence, etc. And now, we are very disappointed that our allies are supporting them outside the country, and PKK, PYD, and YPG attacking Turkey from outside, from the American-controlled areas, from northern Syria mostly, but sometime in the northern Iraq, where America and Iran are cooperating to support the PKK. And this is disappointing. After the terror attack in Istanbul, of course, Turkey had several operations before, but now it became necessary, maybe again a land operation that to expel the PKK from Turkish borders. Of course, they are threat all over the world against Turkey, but when they are close, they can shell. Civilians which already did last week, that they shelled Gaziantep city and killed a child and a teacher. They keep saying that they don't target civilians, but they do the opposite. So Turkey is very frustrated, very disappointed, but also taking the measure necessary as it did before. But it was in the mostly Turkey was seeing more understanding from Trump than Obama-Biden duo. And again, unfortunately, Biden has some bias against Turkey, which is generally against other American allies. Has problems with Arabs, problems with Turkey and Israel. Israel not as much, but now, try to repeat the nuclear deal with Iran. So this is a Obama line, I think, causing kind of a friction between Turkey and the United States. So the situation, of course, Turkey is feeling threatened by this terrorist activities in its borders, and also it hurt Turkey. So the government cannot wait idle, hope that this thing doesn't happen. Of course, terrorist group, especially Turkish economy, was becoming stronger, and in the lira still stabilized, but was getting stronger. And this Istanbul terrorist activity targeted Turkish economy and tourism. It is, of course, it didn't succeed because still the tourists are coming, but we can say that the purpose was obvious, and we cannot wait, this thing happen again, especially from outside. That's maybe the summary. So Mike, we want to clean the PKK, PYD, YPG, whatever you call it. They are all the same for us. And we want to clear them from our borders. As long as they don't attack Turkey, they are a secondary threat. But now there is an urgent primary threat from these organizations from northern Syria. And of course, I'm not going to decide, but I think if now they are doing this sword and claw operation from the air, I think they'll continue on this. If they need to, maybe they also can use ground operation. But let's see. The Obama said, NATO's #2 army didn't want to take them when the journalists criticized him, not doing anything, and he put the blame on Turkish army. So As a hint, I mean, of course, I respect your
Yeah, I
opinion.
don't think this. Yeah, I don't think this had anything to do though with the sequence with the same
They were
way. Could
equipping and the training and equipping a group. There was a American project, big project. What happened to it? Train and equip against Assad regime.
yeah, yeah,
It,
but
it, it,
that's different. That's different than conducting a campaign against Daesh. Listen,
yeah, but if they were, America
regardless of
was
how
serious on
well,
this, they could have, produced a lot of fighters, maybe not hostile to Turkey, but they weren't serious. I mean, a couple of people they trained, but they said they made a big propaganda. We are preparing Syrian opposition and we're gonna topple down the Assad regime. But this project came nothing. I mean, almost like zero impact.
yeah, but having been there, I can tell you that it certainly wasn't an
Yes, as
American
as
project.
as an administration, Joel, true. But you seen remember the picture they published, several Europeans and Americans and kind of saying that these were with us in the referendum. Barzani
Yeah,
people
yeah, I
published.
don't
So
think.
I mean these guys, not the one responsible. Actually,
No,
I
but
respect. Yes, one about ISIS. ISIS is a more direct threat to Turkey than America because we are fighting them. They are accumulated in northern Syria and some in Iraq, and they are posing more direct pressure, sometime infiltrating into Turkish borders, and Turkey capture them, and also capture them in the Free Syrian Army controlled areas. And so we are fighting with ISIS and the PKK at the same time. And so your worries about ISIS is not more than us. We are also target of, ISIS target also Turkish cities and several times, and glad that it is weakening, but it's not supposed to be. You clean one terror group with another terror group. I mean, it can backfire and it can also be used. And Turkey is not hurting anything. Is not doing anything to hurt. I mean, you should get the maybe feeling or the sense in Turkey. Turkey is not doing anything to harm or to weaken uh, American interests, but we see, the support for the PKK, I mean, hurting us, and this is the frustration. This is the understanding we should get from American allies. We don't get that, and that's the problem. With the Assad regime, also, we don't see America sometime attack, some regime facilities, maybe sometime Iran, but we don't see a real fight with the Assad regime. I mean, my understanding, America is happy with the status quo, but we should actually we have more common things with the democratization and the constitutional committee that is supposed to work, but no pressure on this on Russia or other parties in this. I mean, we are for democratic Syria together, and no push on this, no pressure even. Assad regime delays and plays also, not only delays with the committee. Sometimes show up, sometimes don't show up, and not even like a verbal pressure or diplomatic pressure that's visible to us. I mean, we have more, concern. I mean, more common interest to bring a more stable, democratic, and developed Syria. But America is, I mean, of course, there are many Americas, but is seem indifferent in many of these, and looks like they are happy with the status quo, leave it as it is, and Iran is controlling somewhere, and the PKK is controlling PYD. I mean, controlling a good part of Syria without any legitimacy, and these areas have water, oil, and very fertile lands, and these are kind of we see this occupation by the PKK, no democratic elections, no nothing, and I mean, I mean, if Turkey leaves them alone, it's gonna be pseudo state. Then it's gonna be another threat. So we see we have to do something about it, and especially our concern is the border security. And the more they are closer to border, the more I mean their cannons and shells can reach the Turkish cities, and we need to clean this together, Joel. I mean, I don't know what the Americans thinking, but this is a
Well,
real threat. This is, I mean, naming and theorizing and everything, but we are getting hurt by this. Yeah, but I mean,
the
these are your
military
allies.
operation began.
These are your allies. You can just tell them not to attack Turkey. I mean, that's very simple, very easy. Also, if you say we cut down your funding against either I mean presence or activities, you give a lot of money and you have leverage on the PKK. Looks like you are not telling them. You know, you said SDF would maybe work with the Assad regime or Iran or Russia, but they are the I mean enemy attacking Turkey. What is the difference if they are working with America or working with Iran? There's no difference for Turkey. And I mean, yes, you say also if PYD may be weakened, ISIS may come, but if also as a common interest, a free Syrian army is not the enemy of America also or the West. I mean, they can take over and also can be Syrian more than PKK because PKK leadership at least are Turkish Turkish outlaws or whatever, renegades, whatever you call it. And different role. I mean, everybody is tolerating them. You have also, I mean, tolerating them because they are, you know, many people stuck in Idlib and nobody wanna mess with them in again like honey house or whatever. And Turkey is, I mean, HTS is not Turkey's partner or ally. We are bearing with them and try to make them maybe more moderate and stuff, but we don't control them. But the thing with the PYD, why not at least you tell them not to attack Turkey? I know you Americans spend a good bunch of time to convince Muslim Kobani
Yeah.
and
Listen.
some. I mean, he's not general, of course. Who gave him a general? He's a terrorist. But in any case, he fought with you, and you spend some time to not to attack Turkey, not to prove himself they are not terrorists and stuff. But I mean, the latest attack came from Kobani. And all the evidence is now present, with and they also probably they want to use with the attack in Istanbul. They want to use. I mean, they were gonna ship this lady, hiddenly, and gladly that Turkish security forces, police caught them on time, but they were gonna ship it to outside. Then they say, I mean, they would say that some ISIS or any other group did it to stir a maybe backlash or big reaction to the refugees we have before the elections, in addition to economic. And but this why at least I mean we know you cannot maybe stop the PKK, but why not at least stop the YPG and PYD guys not to attack Turkey or underestimating the impact the terror YPG, PYD, whatever STF are posing. Like they are stabbing us, and you say, "Oh, this is one of the problem," but this is serious. This is hurting people. This has impact on politics, economy, and people's life. I mean, people close to border don't feel safe, and you don't know if they're gonna attack today or tomorrow. And our frustration is that you are not telling them or preventing them to shell or to attack like this parachuter, motored parachutes that they came last month. They came again with your area, by parachutes because they cannot operate inside, and they try to attack police station. I mean, they should have stopped this long before. I mean, if they are like a non-terrorist organization and they want to live in peace in Syria, but I mean, you underestimating the Turkish suffering or Turkish, I
Well,
mean, damage on the
I think
Turkish side. Yes, we sympathize with the Syrian people from the beginning, but Obama let them alone, and after all kinds of promises, even maybe provoke some of the rebellions that they trusted on Obama. And with red lines, all this, they left them alone. And we didn't leave them alone. We still want the democratic transition, continue with the constitutional process and the UN vision process. Plus, I mean, we are after the PKK, not after the people. But when Turkey does something to PKK, PKK attacks Syrians. I mean, there is a difference. I mean, we don't attack Syrians. I mean, the PKK leadership, mostly Turkish people and terrorists. And why they attacking Azaz? Or I mean, previously also they bombed. And we're gonna send you more refugees. I mean, this was what they do before, and we oppose that. And they punish the Idlib people, and you know they are threatening that we'll send you more refugees. We are against this. We sympathize with the Syrians inside the country and also outside, especially the ones in Turkey.
Dr.
Yeah.
Ahmed, the Syrian people view this operation as a possible occupation of Syria's north. The Syrian people inside their homes are petrified that they will never be liberated from Assad or from another regional country. The Syrian people are worried and petrified that these battles are going to cause more bloodshed. They see their children dying from both sides for no fault of their own. This is a conflict between the PKK and Turkey, not between Syrians and Turkey. This is a conflict that if Turkey truly cares
But
about
who is
Syria,
invading?
would try to handle, Dr. Ahmed, would try to handle in a different approach.
For example, who is invading the east of Euphrates? Not Turkey, of course. I mean, the precious land is invaded by the PKK, and which under any legal base, no legal base. I mean, Turkey is only after the PKK. Will be happy to Syrians. I mean, to see Syrians decide for themselves, democratic process. Also, I mean, we don't go with the arm twisting. We have a legitimate security terroristic concerns, and not only the PKK, also ISIS. I mean, Joel and Rania are using these drugs, you know, to poison the Arab countries, including the Gulf, also to Europe and stuff, to fund their economies. And we don't see any pressure on this,
yeah.
or even like the reports. We in Orsam Center we published a report, but I mean, this is like poison. I mean,
It's
it's
huge, yeah, and
obvious.
yeah,
Yeah, he's huge. Yes, I mean the
it's
PKK
huge,
also
and
using
there
this.
needs to be more pressure. I think you're going to see now that the House of Representatives starting in January is going to be changing um, control in the United States Congress, and I think you're going to see more action coming from the House of Representatives for legislation against Captagon trafficking by the Assad regime and Hezbollah. I think you'll see more action, but it's been slow in coming, and it's frustratingly slow. Once it does come, I think it'll have a big impact because Captagon, the Assad regime is taking in billions in revenue from Captagon. I believe Captagon is the Assad regime's number one source of revenue, and I don't think they have an alternative to replace that stream of revenue if it's disrupted. So hopefully we can get more international action to disrupt that Captagon revenue, and then bring the Assad regime back into a position where they're compelled to comply with the political process.
Hope so.
Okay,
Thank you.
have some questions. I have more questions, actually, if I can read them. I'm putting them in the nest up above. And just give me 1 second. رجاء من الكل اللي عم يسمعني باللغة العربية يلي حابب يبعت سؤال يا ريت تكتبوه بالتعليقات أسفل الصفحة. صار في رقم 13. يا ريت تكتبوا الأسئلة بالتعليقات وأنا فورا برفعها لفوق للسلة. Okay. Question for Dr. Usel. What is the safe zone model that Turkey is promoting through the ground invasion in light of what happened in Afrin in the past weeks and the expansion of the HTS terrorist organization in Afrin? And in light of what Turkish investigations revealed about the terrorist infiltration that carried out the attack through the Afrin area, which is controlled by the Turkish army? That's for you, Dr. Ahmed.
Okay. I am trying to check the Afrin area. The Turkish, Free Syrian Army still active there, and of course the PKK had some ground in this area. Always try to provoke or kind of disrupt the regular flow of the social life. They were attacking again the civilians and the bazaars and everything. And there were some maybe HTS incursions, but it is over now with some internal groups. They fought each other. It is Afrin, is kind of a symbolic for the PKK. Always kind of use different sides, but I don't see it is left to the HTS. Thank you.
Okay, the second question is, just 1 second, I'm translating it. Okay. In light of the repeated Turkish statements about the restoration of relations with the regime and the need to coordinate with Assad against the SDF, what is the role of Assad in the Turkish operation? And why does Turkey not adapt the same approach it takes with the regime with the SDF, given that Assad detonated a car bomb in Turkey and killed dozens of people? Sir, Dr. Ahmed.
Yes, but the PKK is Assad is a threat to the whole region, not to Turkey only, and weaken and cannot do much. And now the PKK is attacking Turkey, so everybody has to worry the urgent or emergent threats that's coming from the PKK. So fighting the PKK is an urgency. And the deal with the Assad regime is overblown. Turkey said maybe we can meet him, but it doesn't mean that Turkey is gonna accept him as a legitimate force. This is overblown. I don't think. There is this serious possibility that Turkey sits down with the Assad regime. We also know that the Assad regime doesn't have a real power. The sponsors have the real power, so Turkey is dealing with the sponsor more than the Assad regime, and doesn't need to worry about the Assad regime as much. Thank you. Of course, we worried about his cruelties. Of course, that doesn't mean that he is a threat to Syrian people. Thanks. More against the Assad regime than America. With respect, of course, with all respect to what you say, but I don't see Americans are worried about the Assad regime. They are, they are more worried about ISIS and their interest in the region and maybe on Russia. But I don't see they are trying to weaken him. If they do, they would maybe push for the Constitutional Committee to work and design, maybe get a timeline or something, but they are not pressuring the Assad regime. So I don't think Americans are prioritizing the Assad regime. Thanks.
Okay, we're going to take, we're already 6 minutes into the second hour. We're going to try to take Michel. He speaks English, so he has a question. And if there's anyone that speaks English and would like to get an immediate answer, please raise your hand and I'll give you the mic. Go ahead, Michel.
Hi, good afternoon, Dr. Ahmad. My friend, good morning, maybe Mr. Joy in America. Actually, I hear your answer about the car of Daesh ISIS, and I don't understand, but I can understand in Lebanon when there's a car explodes and Hezbollah kill Rafiq al-Hariri. In few days, they know the car, how it's stolen from Japan and transport to Dubai, come to Beirut, and even the car was the biggest part of the car, 1 millimeter. 1 millimeter, the biggest part of the car after the explosion. I couldn't understand really the CIA of America, they couldn't know Toyota selling 2,000 car serial number. They don't know the American, the intelligence of American. They don't know for which part, which human, which company is selling this Toyota. Of course, the American know. Of course, we are not stupid, Mr. Joe. Of course,
Okay.
no.
All right.
Fair.
Thank
And
you.
wait a second, Rania, please. And thank you for United States that they're fighting ISIS in the north of Syria. I have a question. Why is this only? Where is the American? Why they are not on Homs? Why not in Latakia? Why not in Dara? Why not in Damascus? Why? Why only in this small corner? And they call what you call تحالف الدولي, the international. I don't know what the American, the guide in this big group. Yeah,
Coalition against
big group,
ISIS.
70 countries in the world, and American of head of this, and they didn't finish ISIS from 12 years. Actually, ISIS, they don't have 150,000 prisoner in them jails. Syrian killed every day by Assad, and America come to protect us from ISIS, from this, I don't know, ghost, from the ghost, Daesh. Actually, I don't know what the American do in Syria. Actually, I hope they move soon out of our land because they are supporting Assad. They are supporting Assad. The first country supporting Assad, the American. Thank you.
I want to say that with Assad, Turkey was pushing, to weaken Assad, also to curtail Assad regimes to barrel bomb Syrian people. They are still attacking with the missiles and stuff, but Turkey disabled many of these barrel bombing capacity to Assad regime. But unfortunately, America and Russia agreed on against Turkey. Unfortunately,
Oh, not at all.
like
Not at
against the
all. I
PKK.
was there.
They were gonna get out of Manbij and other areas. They didn't keep their promises also. So I wish. Then when Turkey realized that America is not gonna do anything, so that they forced them to sit with Russians. We
There
didn't
were two
choose
sides.
the UN and democratic solution is the real solution, but we don't see especially Western and American support for the Syrian people paid the price. They toppled the Assad regime 3 times actually, but every time it was about to fall, a foreign power or foreign force came. Lebanon first, then Iran, then even ISIS helped Assad regime, and then at the final end came Russia, and even Lavrov said that if we didn't intervene, the Assad regime was gonna fall down, and unfortunately, our allies who sing human rights and democracy for a long time, they did not show a real support. Even if they, like the whole West is united against Russia right now. I of course refuse Russian invasion of Ukraine and sympathize with Ukrainians. And now, if 10% of this support was provided to Syrians, it would. They would topple the Assad regime 10 times maybe easily. But these help didn't come, and these guys, fought with their bare hands. They did not. They were not even given the man pads and anti-tank weapons. So they suffered a lot, but we still sympathize with them. No sympathy with the Assad regime and their supporters. But of course, Turkey is not a superpower that can impact everything. We have to do a lot of bargaining and a lot of pressuring and stuff. But unfortunately, Syrian people paid the price, and we paid the price. So that's my summary. Thank you very much.